Okay, we're back. Sorry about that brief delay, everybody. And we want to continue with the questions, some of the frequently asked questions you've been asking us that you've sent us earlier today, and we'll be taking some additional questions throughout this Facebook Live. As a reminder, if you're just tuning in, please know that you can go to our website at www.fcps.edu to get additional frequently asked questions answered. One of the questions that was being asked is, do I have to do the new schoolwork that's assigned to us? While the work in fourth quarter isn't being graded, it is going to impact your final grade. We are following the VDOE recommendation not to have the work graded during the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter transcripts for our high school kids will be issued with a no mark. But the work during fourth quarter will help show mastery of learning of the new content and will impact your final grade. I encourage all of you to do your very best over this time to continue to improve your final grade and to continue to enjoy learning for the sake of learning and not just for the grade itself. One of the things that's been asked about supports for our English language learners. We have thousands of English language learners here in Fairfax County Public Schools and are proud to have them as part of our Fairfax County Schools family. We are working with our English language teachers to make sure that we're communicating in multiple languages to our parents now and to our students as we get ready to start our distance learning programs. And they will be checking in on a regular basis as we begin to do distance learning. We also have our parent liaisons that are available and are reaching out. And we actually have parent information lines in Spanish, Vietnamese, Korean, Chinese, Urdu, Arabic, Farsi, and Amharic for families who can just call in and ask questions and get support for the information that they need to get answered. Our ESOL teachers will be reaching out to all of our EL students on a regular basis and supporting them as they go through this new distance learning program. I got a question about how are we supposed to check our students' math, and will teachers be providing direction to us? Well, I've certainly experienced that as a parent, even as early as second and third grade for help on math. But first, I'd encourage your children to work with their teacher as we go to this new distance learning. Many of you know, as part of the distance learning plan, teachers will have office hours, time for kids to check in. I encourage that time for kids to check in, and if you need to check in and talk to that teacher about how you can better support and check their math work. And hopefully you'll learn, and we'll all learn a little bit more about the kind of instruction that our kids are getting week to week in Fairfax County Public Schools, and you'll have an opportunity to really even be an even stronger partner with us in the education of your children. Several questions around AP. I know there's a lot going on with AP and IB. A lot of those questions are already answered in our FAQ. I do want to share a little bit of information that the College Board did delay the AP test window to May 11th through May 22nd. Makeup dates are going to be June 1st through the 5th. There's going to be a lot of opportunity. The College Board is providing some daily supplemental instruction that you can learn more about at our FAQ site. And of course, all of our AP teachers will be providing new instruction as distance learning restarts here after spring break. Our IB program continues to be an important part of Fairfax County Public Schools, and they also will be providing additional information. IB will not be administering exams, but will be doing supplemental and finishing up work to show mastery of course content in IB classes. And we hope that you'll work with your IB teachers with any questions that you may have there. As far as dual enrollment, we will provide more information about dual enrollment in about another week as we get started. One of the things with dual enrollment is we're working with a lot of colleges, each who have slightly different policies, and we're really trying to get a comprehensive set of guidelines to share with you about dual enrollment. We know how important it is, though, for our students to finish the year with dual enrollment, and we will be providing that information very shortly. We'll also be providing information about families who are interested in dual enrollment for the upcoming year as well. Some folks had questions about our learning packets. As you know, kindergarten through 8th grade, while we are providing distance learning opportunities, our primary mode will be through learning packets. And will there be learning packets for advanced mathematics? Learning activities and material for advanced mathematics in grades 3 through 6 will begin in the mailing of the second packet. And by the way, we recognize that not every family needs a packet mailed. There will be an opt-out process for learning packets, and we hope you take advantage of that process. One of the other questions is about when will the third grade book be closed. That third grade book will be closed April 24th. It will be closed April 24th. There's going to be plenty of time for you to turn in work that you were not able to complete during the third quarter. And we will be grading that work to make sure that you can get a final third quarter grade. I want to be clear with you because it's been asked. There is an expectation that no third quarter grades will be lower than they were on the last day that schools were open on March 12th. Will I be able to improve my grades in third quarter? The answer is yes. As I said, you will through the 24th of April be able to turn in work that you had not yet completed for third quarter. And I want to remind you that all of fourth quarter, as you do new learning, you'll be able to show mastery of learning during that time, and that work will impact your final grade. We shared our approach for fourth quarter with the school board last Friday. And this is in alignment with our existing Fairfax County Public Schools grading policy. We encourage you, if you have any questions specific to your child's specific class, to talk with your son or daughter's teacher during their virtual office hours. One of the questions about when will the third quarter report cards be distributed. We've just announced, again, the date for turning in grades on the 24th of April, and we'll be doing report cards as soon as possible after that April 24th date. Again, a question about will students grading in fourth quarter. Again, we are following the Virginia Department of Education around grading, as I've shared, and while the fourth quarter grade is no mark, the fourth quarter work will impact your final grade. I do think, as much as we've had questions around grading, that it's important to use this moment in time, to use this COVID crisis, to make sure that we're putting our focus, maybe deeper than we ever have before, on the love of learning and learning for the sake of learning. Grades are important. They've always been a part of our school culture, but we really want to have the opportunity to, during this time, to encourage learning for the sake of learning. Will there be final exams for the fourth quarter? I'll have more information on that in just the week ahead. Can I get retakes for tests under 80% from third quarter? Again, anything in third quarter we'll have extended to April 24th. We'll keep our existing policies, as I said already, around grading in place for that. And if you have specific questions, work with your child's specific teacher. The next question was around changes to grading policy. As I've said already, we have our existing grading policy and our distance learning plan, and our grading around fourth quarter is in alignment with our grading policy. We are following the VDOE guidance, and we're following our Fairfax County Public Schools policy. If you've just joined us, we are taking questions, your questions here on Facebook Live. We've had a bit of a technical glitch at the beginning, so I want to be sure I provide an answer to the first two questions at the beginning that you may not have heard, which is, do I have to do the new schoolwork that is assigned to us? And as I shared at the beginning, while the new work is not graded, it is important to complete these assignments because they will impact the student's final grade. It will allow students to show mastery of learning of new concepts being done that we're moving on and doing here in the fourth quarter, and it's really an opportunity for all of our students to have a positive impact on their final grades. We also had a question right at the beginning, in case you weren't able to join us at the very beginning, about when we'll be getting our daily schedule, and schools will individually be sending out through teacher, staff, and the principals the specific school schedule. We have a general outline we provided that is on our website of what the school day will look like at elementary, middle, and high, but the specific times for face-to-face virtual instruction will be provided by the schools themselves. We had a question about driver's ed. How will that be handled now that we have this new environment of distance learning? We're working with our high school principals and our instructional services department to finalize guidance for driver's education. We are going to work to try to create schedules so that we can meet the state requirements, and we'll have more information on that soon. I know a lot of folks too want to know about behind the wheel And right now, that is canceled until further notice, and that's following state guidance that has asked all school districts to stand down on the behind-the-wheel training until we have further notice from the state. Is it too late to register for summer online campus? It is not. Registration ends June 12th for summer courses. There's a question about what about summer enrichment opportunities. We offer so many wonderful programs here in Fairfax County Public Schools. We have not got final decisions yet for those summer programs, and we will certainly update you soon. Registration is currently not going on for those. I know these are very popular programs. We'd love as much as possible to follow and provide those opportunities, but we'll be monitoring the governor's guidance. As you know, his stay-at-home order has now extended. He added a stay-at-home order this week, and it's been extended to June 10th, and we're going to really have to relook at things at that point. One of the questions is, are we hiring? It's our intent to continue to fill our classroom vacancies. We need great teachers to join us here in Fairfax County Public Schools. Learning is not stopping. Teaching is not stopping. So while we're not able to have our job fairs that we'd love to do face-to-face here in the spring, we do encourage those of you who are interested in teaching, and frankly, now more than ever, our young people need you all to become first responders for them. As we watch our own medical care folks go out and be the first responders to this COVID-19 crisis, this is an opportunity for folks who never thought before about wanting to be a teacher and to connect with kids. Our kids need us more than ever now. They need trusted adults to connect to and to learn from, and we hope you'll look at Fairfax County Public Schools to begin or to finish your teaching career. There's questions about credit recovery. Registration begins in late April. No decision has been made yet about whether we're going to be able to hold those classes or the format in which we would hold those classes, but we'll update you soon. As far as the crisis impact on the FCPS budget, it is certainly true that the COVID-19 crisis has impacted federal, state, and local budgets. We are looking early next week to see a new budget forecast from the county, and later in the week, a new forecast likely from the governor. And the school board will be meeting in a virtual meeting on April 9th. That's next Thursday at 10 a.m. That'll be on Channel 21 and live streamed to look at the revised plan of the county, and I will begin to share my initial thoughts about how our budget may need to have to be adjusted. We're going to continue to focus, of course, on our core mission of teaching and learning and protecting the FCPS classroom, and I am hopeful that we'll be able to do everything we can to continue to move forward and provide a world-class school system for all of our students and for this community. We have to recognize the tight budget times that have now confronted us, but we've been through tight times before, and Fairfax County Public Schools has moved forward even during those times to continue to deliver a world-class education. And I know all of us are committed to making sure that continues to happen even in more challenging financial times. There was a question about FAQ about AP classes and dual enrollment. I've actually already mentioned some of that, and go to our FAQ website if you have more questions about AP, IB, or dual enrollment. One question is about how are we identifying students for compensatory services in the future? We know that our goal remains every child by name and by need here in Fairfax County Public Schools. It's clear that even as we make this transition to distance learning, while we will work and strive to meet every child by name and by need, we may see that some of our children, especially our special needs children, will need additional services after this COVID-19 crisis. We're committed to identifying during the distance learning process, using our teachers, talking with them, to identify students who we know not only will need additional support during this distance learning plan, but who will need additional support after the plan as early as this summer and into the next year. We already have a work group formed led by Dr. Duran, our Chief Equity Officer, to make sure that we're going to provide the necessary services and supports for those students. And we're going to also continue to look at federal and state guidance to help us as we construct these proactive plans. Will homebound teachers continue to provide services? And the answer is yes. Every homebound teacher will continue to have a regular check-in with students, and we will again work with every child by name and by need to determine the level of services. They will not be doing direct in-home visits, again following state directives, but we will be providing homebound support to children. Do I need to bring my child to get breakfast and lunch? You do not need to bring your child to bring breakfast and lunch. We've been able to work with the federal government to get greater flexibility so a parent does not have to bring their children out. I'm so proud of our food and nutrition services for the amazing job. We're doing over 15,000 meals a day to Fairfax County residences. We're doing it through school sites and also through bus delivery. And I want to remind all of you that even during spring break next week, we will be providing meal distribution and delivery every day of the week next week, Monday through Friday. So please be sure you know that. That will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you do not any longer need to bring your child to be able to pick up that food. There's been some questions too about SATs. SAT testing in FCPS locations for this school year has been canceled. Students will get information directly from college boards about rescheduling. I know some of it had already been canceled. There were some questions about the June date, so all those have been canceled. The College Board will be following up. And I know that that is something, of course, for lots of kids, including my own, who were scheduled to take those SATs. It's frustrating. But we know we'll work with the College Board very closely and provide additional opportunities as soon as possible for kids to be able to take those SATs and to take them in Fairfax County Public Schools when we're able to provide them. There were some questions about being able to get into the school to get essential items. We have been providing limited access for essential item pickup. But please understand, our schools are closed at this time because of the COVID-19 crisis. If you have an essential item around medication or some special education equipment, in fact, our teams are actually finishing the guidelines for some equipment that we know students absolutely have to have for distance learning. And we'll be working with those individual families through school staff reaching out in the days ahead. And we'll make sure that those items get to be provided. We know there's a lot of items in school that folks will want, especially our students. And when the time is right, following state guidance, and we can get more folks back into our schools, we will certainly do that. There's a question about our non-virtual graduation ceremonies being considered. I think I'm back on, so I'm reconnected. Sorry about that little glitch. There was a question again about the non-virtual graduation ceremonies, and I was sharing that I just sent out a letter to seniors. We know this is an unprecedented time. I shared the sense of loss that seniors have about losing things like prom, some of the picnics that were planned into the year, choral assemblies and fine arts assemblies and drama plays. But we are committed to doing, our high school principals and I are committed to doing everything we can to continue to have some kind of graduation for our seniors and an appropriate year of end celebrations. Our non-virtual graduation ceremonies are not ruled out yet at this time. However, if the governor's time frame of June 10th remains in place, the graduation schedules will be impacted. We have some flexibility in those graduation schedules. We may need to think out of the box about what graduation looks like. But the school board, our principals, our leadership team is committed to finding a way to have an appropriate ceremony that recognizes the accomplishments of 13 years of education for students. So my pledge is we will work very hard and work with you and listen to you as we approach these key dates. I am hoping and praying for the COVID-19 situation to get better, as I know all of you are, and we will keep you posted. One of the questions was, I didn't get a laptop and I still need one. We are still in the midst of our laptop distribution process. If you need one, you don't have access to a laptop at home, please contact your school principal. If you don't have access to internet access at home, I'd encourage you to do the same. We have a very limited amount of MiFis now. We've distributed thousands. We've distributed thousands of laptops. And we know that we want to do everything we can to close the digital divide here in Fairfax County Public Schools. Another question on here was about what about missed IEP meetings and how about future ones? IEP rescheduling questions should be referenced to the special education case manager. They're the primary point of contact and we'll be working and reaching out to families very soon. There are no plans at this point to change the 2020-21 calendar. That calendar was approved by the school board almost a year ago. There are no plans currently to change that calendar. We are looking, of course, as I shared earlier, about how we're going to meet student needs post-COVID-19, which could be ideas like enhanced summer program and how to support students during the closure. This is such an important question because one of the issues here is not just the academic impact that COVID-19 has had on our students, but also the social emotional impact. And we really, really need to listen more than ever to student voice around these issues. I want you to know that school counselors remain the first point of contact for any of our students' issues around social emotional as well as their academic or personal needs. I also want you to know that any FCPS parent can schedule a 30-minute phone consultation with a school psychologist or school social worker, either for themselves or for their middle or high school student. And that'll give them an opportunity to get guidance and support necessary. Go to our website at www.fcps.edu and click on the mental health and resources page to schedule that phone consultation. I think that's an opportunity, an awesome opportunity for a 30-minute call to really have your child or you check in with someone who's skilled in this area to really help with the social emotional impact that we're all experiencing in different ways. And it's okay. It's okay to reach out and ask for help and support, whether you're a child or an adult. I'm a senior. How can you make sure I'm going to graduate? I want every senior to know if you're in good standing and you have been passing all of your required classes, you are going to graduate on time. It's important to stay engaged as you do new material in fourth quarter so that you can improve your grade, but you will be graduating on time. We have maximum flexibility from the state. If you were not passing your classes or passing a class before the closure, we are going to do everything we can, working with you, to get some of that grade up so that you can pass and that you can graduate with your classmates here in June. Your teachers will be giving you more information about how you can do some of that work so that you can impact your final grade. Again, as I said, there was another question about seniors not doing well. You will have an opportunity to put in extra time to get that grade up from failing to passing. And we are ready. All of our teachers know and understand that they're going to reach out to you and say, while schools may be closed, we have not closed the opportunity for you to pass that class, even if you are not experiencing success on March 12th. Will seniors be refunded for parking and senior dues? We're looking at all of our refund regulations and all of our refund policies, and we'll be sharing information out soon on that information. Information about prom and graduation I've already shared, and again, as I said, high school principals and I and our school board, our leadership team, all of us in Fairfax County Public Schools are committed to celebrating your accomplishments here at the end of the year and providing a graduation opportunity in some shape or form. We know we need to make a decision soon, but we have time before we have to make a final decision as to the type and format of how we'll be able to do it. And we want to honor the opportunity to have as much flexibility as we monitor this COVID-19 crisis as possible. There was one other question before I close around registration. Yes, you can register your students for the coming year, or if you know folks, neighbors that are just coming in now, moving in the middle of this challenging time, and how am I going to get my kid registered? We are accepting registrations for next year. Even if you don't have all the necessary paperwork, we will work with you to complete the process. Go to our website for more information, and I hope that was helpful. Well, we've come to another 30 minutes of Facebook Live. I'm committed to working to communicate with you on a weekly basis as we go through the time ahead. I appreciate you reaching out and engaging all of our staff on your questions. They need to be answered. They deserve to be answered. And continue to work with us and have patience with us as we try to do the best we can to support your children and all of you and your families. You all are the backbone of this community, and we want to be here with a servant's heart to serve you and to serve your children as best we can, even in these challenging circumstances. I know that next week is officially our spring break. I saw earlier this week a doctor who sent me an email saying, you know, Dr. Brabrand, all the discussion about spring break or not, while we're not going to be able to do our spring break plans that we had priorly had with our family, we are going to spend time as a family together during spring break. I'm hoping to do a little bit of that myself as a parent and a father and a husband, and I hope you will too. We need to take a moment to give grace. Grace to each other, grace to our community, grace to ourselves, and really be thankful for what we have. I know right now it feels like so much has been taken, but there is still so much to be thankful for. I'm thankful to be part of Fairfax County Public Schools, and I'm thankful that you are part of the Fairfax County Public Schools family. These bonds are strong, and we're not going to let the COVID-19 crisis break those bonds. Thank you for listening today. Go on our website again at www.fcps.edu, and we have more FAQs being updated each day. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend and a great spring break.